All right, so there's two key reasons why most emails do not get replies. It's very binary. Either you're getting a lot of replies or no replies, and these are the reasons from my experience. One, there's tone and structure mistakes. Just like tone is very important in cold calling, it's also very important in emailing. So underneath that, what I most commonly see is passive language. We'll cover examples that I commonly see that lacks conviction. The email reads like automation or marketing copy. I think you all know what I mean. You can read an email if you ever get these in your inbox and you can kind of just tell it was copy and pasted. That's not going to get replies. And then overall, just sounding more like a customer service rep, positioning yourself as an educational resource going forward rather than a consultative seller. And then the other key category are actual messaging and targeting mistakes in terms of the personas you're reaching out to. So overcomplicating the email with attachments and links and case studies and making them way too long. Poor persona targeting where your message is just too high level. It sounds like it could have been written for just about any job title and that it's not specific to them. And then a lack of a repeatable email structure that naturally sources more replies. The more volume you're able to do at a high quality, the more replies you will get. Don't let anyone else tell you that volume isn't important when it comes to email. It is. You just need to have a repeatable structure that allows you to be high quality. So we're going to start with tone and structure because these are some of the quickest fixes in my opinion. And I want to show you what I was talking about when it comes to passive language versus assumptive language. So this is an initial template that is very representative of what I see out there. I've coached thousands of reps and there's lots of variations of this, but I highlighted in red all of the phrases that set off alarm bells in my head is passive, weak, and non-assumptive language. So it starts with even, I hope this message finds you well. I'll just read it first. I'm part of the ABC team that supports all things pertaining to sales, service, marketing, and overall customer experience. We work with many organizations on process transformation, and I wanted to reach out to hopefully set up a time and see how we can potentially act as a resource moving forward. I would love to set up a time next week for a brief 15-minute call to introduce myself and get a better understanding of your current applications and see how we can be of assistance to you and your team. Warmest regards, Connor. So the way I view it is that these are all just holes in your ship. Not all of them individually will sink your ship, but together it makes a big difference and it just reads as a pushover email, quite frankly. So I like to eliminate fluffy language that says nothing. I hope this message finds you well. You can just take that out. Even here, I didn't put it in red, but you're going way too broad when you say sales, service, marketing, and overall customer experience. It's so easy for the person to read that and be like, this isn't for me, this is for someone else. Hopefully set up a time rather than I'm looking to set up a time. Hopefully, it'd be nice to, I'm hoping to, but it's up to you, and see how we can potentially act as a resource, implying that you might not be able to be a resource. I would love to, again, it would be great to, I would love to, if you're able to, get a better understanding. I think that's just weak and see how we can be of assistance. That's what I mean by that customer service type language. Even warmest regards, I'll show you what I prefer in a second. All of these stacked together, though, it just signals to me, I don't need to respond to this. This just sounds like they're spraying and blasting out the same email to a bunch of people, trying not to step on toes. And then as a result, you just don't get replies. You could send 1,000 emails that look like this and get 0 replies. But instead, I'm going to take that same exact email template now. And this isn't even the template I would personally use, but I just want to show you how by changing some of what's in red to more assumptive language, you can dramatically improve the tone of your email. So in this one, and I didn't put this in green, but I made it more specific to a particular persona in marketing rather than just going super broad on the left. But my name's Connor Murray, and I'm part of the ABC marketing automation team responsible for supporting XYZ company. Our team has been working with companies like XYZ on priorities related to sophisticated campaign design, advanced lead scoring, and automating real-time account insights. More detail on how I'm concretely relevant to this person. And instead of I would love to, this is what I'm talking about in the title with the one line that can dramatically improve replies. I have seen templates where I literally just change I would love to, or it would be great to, something passive like this, to I am looking to set, more assumptive, and keeping everything else about the email the same, it will improve reply rates. I am looking to set 15 to 20 minutes next week in order to introduce my team and get aligned with any of your priorities in these areas going forward. Do you have availability the week of the 21st? Please let me know when works best, and I will send us the invite. Thanks in advance. Instead of warmest regards, Connor. Very simple tweaks. It's essentially the same email, but I made it a little more specific to their persona. I just changed some of what was in red in passive language to assumptive language. And now this is an email that is going to get a much higher reply rate, and it didn't take that much effort to do so. So now I want to show you other common examples I see and how you can avoid some of these mistakes that cause you to put in all this work. You're working hard with these emails, spending hours sending them out and not getting replies. So the email reads automated. This is a common LinkedIn sales guru style email. I get these in my inbox all the time where it follows a flow like personalization, observation, problem insight, social proof, soft call to action. So notice blank company is scaling your delivery ops. Are your dispatchers still manually tracking drivers or routes? We've been helping companies like insert customer success story, cut driver admin time by 20%, yada, yada, yada. Maybe worth taking a quick look, worth a chat. In my opinion, again, this just sounds blasted out. I get these in my inbox all the time. They'll share some like how we helped PepsiCo. It's like the same customer success story that like every person's using in their emails. High level fuzzy numbers that mean nothing to the prospect. I don't even know who you are. Are you on the sales team? Are you a consultant? Are you an intern? Are you in marketing? To me, this is just goofy and unprofessional. And these are the types of emails that don't get responses from my experience. The other one, sounding like a customer service rep. Here's another example. Many financial service companies similar to blank company are taking the leap to modernize and transform digitally. You sound like a marketer here in that first line too. I'm reaching out from the cloud applications team that supports blank company and keeping up with growing industry trends, yada, yada, yada. I'd like to connect. That's actually not that bad. That's fine with you so I can better understand your role. No one wants to teach you about your role, their role. You're supposed to understand that. And to discuss any tools that are powering markety buzzword language, your daily tasks surrounding planning, budgeting, and financials. Would you be open to a brief conversation this week to share insights? No one wants to get on a call to share insights, to teach you about their role, and especially when your whole value prop is that you're just helping them keep up with growing industry trends. Like, it's just a low value email. These are the types of emails that don't get replies, even if you're sending large volume. So to make this easy for everyone, I created what I call a passive language versus assumptive language checklist. Here you can see some of those examples. I was hoping to set up some time. I'd love to set up some time. Would you be open to setting some time? You're implying that this might not be worth their time. I want to go down swinging. They can tell me no. They have every right to tell me no, but I want to imply that this, because of who I am, why I'm reaching out to them, which is the priorities and challenges I solve and how I solve them and how relevant they are to this person. I am expecting this meeting to happen, and I'm merely trying to figure out which date works best. I'm not trying to imply that this might not be worth their time and only if they're interested, and that this wouldn't be interesting to them in the first place. So to break it down, why assumptive language is so powerful and it's so easy to fix in emails too, is that it signals confidence and professionalism. Assumptive language also removes friction and makes it clear what your intent is. It guides the prospect towards the next step. It gives you a shot on net, a chance at booking the meeting. I don't want to ask for their thoughts, because what I'm trying to do here is book a meeting. I'm not asking for their thoughts. I want their thoughts after we meet with them and we set up the call, which this just increases response rates when you're more direct and to the point and assumptive about your reason for reaching out. And then assumptive language positions the meeting as a natural next step, not a favor. I'd love to set up some time if you're possibly free. It sounds like they're doing you a favor and like they're the first ones ever taking a meeting with you. So for all these reasons, if you change nothing else or take away nothing else from this video, eliminate passive language and replace it with stronger, more assumptive language. So now I want to get into the actual message itself and the personas that you're targeting, because you need to take this into account. So a good exercise is just picture the person you're emailing, or when you get these emails yourself, take a moment to just reflect on the state you're in when you're receiving these emails. Usually these people we're emailing are probably in the midst of back-to-back meetings. They're probably very busy. They're professionals with day jobs. They stop what they're doing and they divert your attention to an unexpected email that's in their inbox. Let's say you hit them with a good subject line and they're like, what is this? And then they start reading the email and it's filled with information. Saw in your 10K, you did this. CFOs I work with tell me this. We were able to help this company reduce admin time by 20%. With random statistics that probably aren't relevant to them personally. And on top of that, the language you're using is, if this is interesting to you, or if this would be worth a chat, I'd love to set up a quick time. Your request sounds optional. All those things together just don't give them a sense of obligation that they need to respond. They're just like, no thanks. So the typical email template almost reads like you're tossing out a fishing line that you're just blasting out to everyone and you're just waiting to see if they take the bait. And the optional language leads them to conclude that they don't even have an obligation to respond in the first place. So a litmus test when you're putting together these email templates, just ask yourself these questions. Does the email read like I personally sent it to them? Am I using natural human language and making the template targeted to their actual job title, role, industry, etc.? Or does it read automated like I blasted out? Am I using markety buzzword language? Am I positioning myself as a valuable resource to them in key business areas they care about moving forward? Does my message sound assumptive and imply that a meeting will be happen? Or am I asking if they're interested or if it would be worth their time? And then would I feel a sense of obligation to reply to this email if a sales rep sent it to me? If it checks these boxes, you are very likely on the right track. So when it comes to doing this correctly, less is generally more. You can shrink down your email without diluting the message, then you should do it, but you have to be careful because a lot of people try and cut too far and then it just comes across as unprofessional and they don't even get what you're reaching out about. But every sentence and every word should add value. That's why I take out sentences like, I hope this message finds you well. That's not moving the message forward. Prospects usually scan these emails for a few seconds. They don't even read it word by word logically like you do when you're typing it up. They just scan it. They're like, is any of this relevant to me? Are these priorities I care about? Oh yeah, that did come up in an internal meeting. Maybe I'll read closer. And then they decide if it's relevant or not. So you want to eliminate all empty phrases and sentences again. I hope all is well, things like that. I generally target 4 to 6 sentences for general outbound prospecting. If I'm not being super strategic with a particular account or prospect, I'm just trying to send out a high volume of emails. This is generally what I go for. And I try and answer 3 questions succinctly in every email: who I am, why I'm reaching out to them, and what I want. I'm going to show you examples of how to do this in a second. And then on a similar note, you want to sound human. Being concise helps with this, but you also want to avoid any of that excessive marketing language. In this ever-changing landscape, we're empowering businesses to streamline their process and gain real-time insight. You sound like every other person emailing when you send that. You sound like you just took that straight off your company marketing page. And then it just makes you sound like every other cold email and it sets off alarm bells. When you're doing these one by one, you need to use a repeatable framework. You can't just look at a job title and say, oh, here's the email I typed up, spend 20 minutes on it, and then move on to the next person on your list and spend 20 minutes on it, because that's not scalable. You have to remember, it's the formula for email success is quality plus volume equals more replies, which equals more meetings. Yes, you need quality in place. Volume without quality is useless. You got to set a base repeatable structure that's quality in place. But volume is just as important to the equation, because in order to book more meetings, you need more replies. The more emails you send, the more chances for replies you get. And when they're quality, you increase the odds that the replies are good replies and that they actually take meetings. So here's what I mean by a repeatable framework. This is a very basic email template, as if I was selling HR software and reaching out to HR leadership like a VP of HR. And it answers those 3 questions: who you are, why you're reaching out, and what you want. Hi, blank. My name's Connor Murray, and I'm part of the Your Company team responsible for supporting XYZ company regarding workforce applications. Given your role, I'm looking to introduce our team and get aligned with your priorities going forward. Very simple. My team focuses on priorities related to, and then what I have in orange is everything I changed because of who I was reaching out to. If I was reaching out to someone in finance, what I put in orange here would change, but the rest of the email and the structure stays the same. In this case, I said talent management, workforce planning, and new hire onboarding. Those are the priorities I work on that are relevant to them. We work with retail, if that was their industry, organizations to align talent to business strategy and retain top talent through exceptional employee experience. That should just say by automating onboarding and benefits administration. So we'll be your main points of contact for any initiatives you have in these areas, yada, yada, yada. And then what I'm looking for, I'm looking to set, not I was hoping to set, I'm looking to set some time for an introduction to understand your priorities and see if there's a fit. What does your availability look like the week of the 21st? Thanks in advance, Connor. It's who, why, what. Who you are is essentially your name, your job title, the team you're part of. Why is the types of priorities and challenges that you solve for and how you solve them at a high level. And then what you want is time on their calendar. This is a base repeatable framework that you can take and improve, but it's going to help you scale your email efforts while maintaining as high of a quality as you can. So just to show how repeatable it is, now I'm going to do a totally different persona, someone who works in the life science industry and is a finance leader. In this case, who, why, what would look like. My name's Connor Murray, yada, yada, and I'm part of the blank life science team responsible for supporting XYZ company regarding back office applications. Given your role, I'm looking to introduce our team and get aligned with your priorities going forward. So most of that is largely the same. My team specifically works with biotech organizations on priorities related to, and now instead of talent management, I'm talking about clinical trial planning, budget forecasting, and commercialization, stuff that's both relevant to this finance persona and the life science biotech industry. We work with our customers to unify data from clinical trials and enhance portfolio planning through the use of AI and machine learning. So we'll be your main points of contact, yada, yada. And then what you want is time on their calendar. I'm looking to take some time to get acquainted and understand how we can support the priorities you're most focused on this year. You can tweak and adjust this. It's not the specific words I'm telling you to use. It's more this framework of telling them who you are, why you're calling, what you want. Again, these are high-level examples. It's up to you, the company you work at, your value proposition to really nail down the why piece is really important so that when they're scanning these emails, you want what you're naming in there as the priorities and challenges to really resonate with them. The higher probability you do that, the more chance you give yourself for replies and therefore meetings. Hope this resonated. If it did, you can check out Cold Email Engine where I go in much more in depth on all of this, and you have access to me in the weekly live calls there to really break down your templates, beyond the templates, the system you're implementing, the follow-ups, things like that. So hope to see you in there. And with that, hope you guys got some value, and I will see you all on the next one.